guys.
What is up, Cliterati? This is our 200th fucking episode, and we are all naked in the studio. If you're looking at our YouTube, please subscribe. We love you all so much, and today we're going to do like the best of the best and a recap of what Clit Talk has brought to our lives and how we've seen it transform all of our Cliterati. So strap yourselves in and let's kick it off, Lindsay.
200 episodes.
I can't even believe it.
200 episodes.
It's unreal.
And how many years? Is it 4 years now?
I've kind of lost track, but I think this is our 5th year because we were developing the show
for like a year before we even launched.
Like 8 months before.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
So this is really our 5th year and the 4th
so
year of the show.
So you're saying it only took me and Sugar 5 years to get you naked with us?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I turned my heat on. I heated up my house. I put on my pussy power necklace, and then I felt like I wasn't naked with this on.
For those of you who
I have my clit necklace on too.
Clickbait for anyone to come to our YouTube channel. Legit, you can see us naked in this video. The link to our YouTube is in the description.
We're not. Yeah, you can see our shoulders. We're not.
Let them go to YouTube.
Okay. I just got to say that my parents got me this pussy power necklace when I first started Clit Talk, and it just makes me always feel so supported in this mission of, 1 million people living a pleasure positive life, because that's what we've all learned how to do by doing this show, from all the amazing doctors and sexperts and porn stars, thought leaders, and our own Cliterati coming on the show. Yeah. So it's really been an incredible journey.
I remember when we first started, I was completely anonymous.
Yep.
I know.
Sugar doesn't know her name is Madison.
Yes, it is.
Real name is Madison.
It really is. And here, it's such a full circle of the journey, to then be on camera for this episode as Sugar, aka Madison.
So let's go back to the beginning, guys. Let's actually take a minute. Let's close our eyes. When you think about some of your first memories of Clit Talk being born into the world, what comes to mind? The very beginning.
The very beginning for me was the first moment I see is we started with 9 women, and before our first recording, I had a series of injuries before starting the show, and I had one the night before. I had a concussion, and I didn't know it was a concussion, but I remember all the women stopping our production schedule that I had set and had me lay down. You moved all the furniture in my living room and had me lay down. You all placed your hands on me, and it was just really such a beginning of sister goddess activism in real time. And since then, my body has been on a healing journey and has transformed in so many ways that we'll get into, more in this interview.
I just remember, and so when we say the other women, for those of you who haven't listened from the beginning, our entire first season, we actually had a cast of 9 women.
Because we were a book club reading Pussy a Reclamation by Regina Thomashower.
There's 3 of us. So then we had Eve and Tamiko. Shout out to Tamiko. We had Crystal. Kedra. Jade. And Lolo, right? I'm thinking of their real names. I can't remember their fake.
I know
Melody.
I know them in real life. And
Melody.
Yep, Melody. Yep, and that was our 9, and then, and I just think about a lot of those women. We were there for Madison's bachelorette party, and I just remember Katie and I had prepped all the food for your bachelorette weekend, and I remember me and Katie were there cooking, and we'd had a glass of wines, and we're like, we should start a talk show, and I was like, we should call it Clit Talk, and it just came out of my mouth, and thinking back on it. Regina Thomashower, who I didn't even know existed at the time, recommended the book Big Magic to us by Elizabeth Gilbert. And Elizabeth Gilbert talks about how ideas float through the air. And I do feel like that Clit Talk hit me like a bolt of lightning for all of us. And
we were doing Clit Talk before. We were doing Clit Talk before Me Too.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Like we were already in the
air.
conversation. We had already started the show.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it
my
just
gosh, that's
catapulted
right.
our mission forward for gender equity. And that wasn't even a conversation then. It was Me Too. And that is something we call it gender harmony here. And that's what we called it at the time. But it's now really, you know, universally called gender equity. And how do we have these conversations, these taboo conversations about sex and sexuality and kink and all these things without shame and feeling like we're putting ourselves in too vulnerable or unsafe position, you know? So how do we all have these conversations and be empowered?
So I want to ask you guys sort of this, because I'm thinking about for myself, like what is the difference that Clit Talk has made? Like, who were you when we started the show versus who are you now? And I know there's a million things that we could say. It's totally changed all of our lives so much. But I just remember for me, I think I was a suppressed bisexual woman. And the way that it came out with me is I used humor to deflect. And I was also like with my girlfriends, because it was more culturally appropriate at the time. Like I was that girl that would go around like smacking people's asses. And nobody like told me that it wasn't funny to them. And I don't think I think I probably made some people uncomfortable and some people I didn't. You know what I mean? And my intention wasn't to hurt anyone, but I thought that I was this really sexually free person because I could talk sort of openly about sex, but almost in a raunchy way. Until I really started to unpack, and then when it came time for me to really get vulnerable, it was way harder to be vulnerable about my sexuality than just talk about raunchy stuff with people. And now I feel so much more balanced and consent. Like I would never slap someone's ass without their consent now. Like I just wouldn't do that. And I realized it's because my whole life I had felt violated by the patriarchy, and I didn't even know it. I thought I was sexually free until I really did the internal work. And now I get like, you're never sexually free. It's a journey, a sexual liberation journey is ongoing. That's how I'm different, I feel. That's in one of the 100 ways I'm different from Clit Talk.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. I remember the days when you would slap my ass. I was one of the people that liked it, but
I was one of the people who didn't. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go, Sugar, or do you want me to go?
I could feel us breathing together into that next thought. Yeah. So I'll go. For me,
Wait, hold on. Katie, do you feel completer on that with me? Is there? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I ever made you uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, no, I'll never forget. It was we were at Madison's house for a dinner, and I showed up after work, and I was in my scrubs, and I had a zip top, and I had just gotten there, and I was in a circle of people, and you unzipped it, and just to like as a joke to say hi to me,
Not all the way.
and it exposed my bra and my breasts, and I thought it was really
You never told me that.
unusual. Oh, I mean, when you're talking about that, this is what I remembered, and I was like, oh yeah, and you would like never do that now.
Never.
So whatever that was, because you used to. So Lindsay and I have known each other for like, just to preface, like almost 15 years, and you were on tour with my husband. You were one of my first best friends out here in Los Angeles when I moved, and
I think that tour had a lot to do with it too, because I had to be cool with things like that. So I was numbed because I was living with men on a tour bus, and I had to be cool. So it's like I was so out of touch with what was actually cool because I had to be cool with everything.
Right. Yeah. I guess we never really talked about it. Why not do it live, naked on Clit Talk?
right.
And
by the way,
before this, we had the idea to be naked, and I could tell that you were hesitant. I said, "Look, Katie, I'm never going to make you do something you're not comfortable doing." I said, and she said, "Could I just sit here naked in my robe?" And I said, "Absolutely." And then she comes back in her pussy necklace, naked. She's like, "This feels good." I'm like, "Okay."
Well, I asked my pussy. I had to check in. I had to check in with it. So I think that's also a really good skill or tip. One of my favorite tips from Mama Gina is letting your pussy dress you and really checking in and listening to her, even in not what I'm wearing, but like, deciding if I want to have another baby or not, if this is the right time. Like really, I've really over these last 4 years learned to trust and listen to my pussy. And it hasn't been the easiest thing because a lot of times it's the thing that I'm most afraid of that I don't want to do. But she's like, and I just felt her relax now, is like, she gives me the clarity. It's like your body, our bodies, like Clit Talk for me has always been a health conversation. Like masturbation is a health conversation. I was a 32-year-old woman who had never masturbated before, and I didn't even know that women actually did that. It wasn't in my realm of conversation ever. And, just starting from there, I feel like I started kind of at zero and move forward to today where it's not just all sexual. It's actually encompasses my entire life and my guiding point to where I'm not so indecisive anymore. And I'm much more confident and trust my own body. I never really exerted any agency over my body in intimate situations. And I had a lot of trauma there to clear up. And I've done that throughout the show. And with the two of you and with our Cliterati. So that was probably like some of the biggest like takeaway that I do in my everyday life. But I would say that my biggest moment of vulnerability is when I announced that I was pregnant on the show. And that was like something that I was never going to do. But this show opened me up so much to that it was something that I really had a deep desire for, but I had so much fear around opening my body and how that would impact my entire life and my career. Because I was working in television at the time as an actor and as a producer and medical tech advisor. So, my life is very different now. Now I do this. I would never think I would do this in my entire life, but I couldn't see myself doing anything else at the moment. Yeah. So,
all right, Madison, we totally interrupted you.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I mean, that's great. I actually remember, Katie, I was so surprised when you shared about having a baby, because I remember meeting you and you were really like the definition of a career woman to me. And I'm like, wow, if Katie Roberts can get there and get to that place, so can I. Just because I'm so career focused and myself, but recently have been much more open up to the idea of being a mother. Which if you've listened to the show, you've probably heard me share a lot of times that I'm not going to be, or that I don't want to have babies and I'm too busy going to play parties to do that. But things have really shifted for me. I haven't been to a play party in, gosh, I've been to like one play party over the course of a year, I would say.
Who was your date to that one?
Myself. Oh, you were. I was going to say myself but you were my date, actually. We went together, and that was a big thing because I had only been to play parties with my partner, and he really gave me the space to choose, which is a distinction in our course. We talk a lot about standing powerfully in a choice. And so for my partner to give me that space, it was like all the work of Clit Talk for me arose in that moment. And it was like, okay, pussituition. Right? Like, do I want to go? What do I want to do?
Ask you a question? So do you think that, because something you shared with us, like you just shared, like you don't really have this strong urge to go to play parties or be intimate with multiple people. Do you think that the fact that you feel like you can choose anything has impacted that?
Oh, absolutely. I think you hit it on the nail on the head right there. The fact that I have full freedom to choose, and that's at the end of the day in my non-monogamous marriage, we know that our sexuality is fluid. And so we have one agreement in our relationship, and that one agreement is to be honest and truthful with the desires that are coming up for us, and to address them immediately with each other and get in communication about what those are, and to talk about it and then go into what the actions look like. You know, when I first came on the show, I was in a heterosexual monogamous marriage. And before my now husband, I was actually in a relationship with a woman for many months. This woman thought that we were going to get married. And I, once I realized that that was the case, I communicated with her that I think we needed to separate, that I did want to explore being with a man. And so we actually completed our relationship, and we had to put a pause on our friendship because that was really heartbreaking for her. And I stayed in that relationship longer because she was one of my best friends. I didn't want to lose my best friend. And I met Austin, and we fell in love pretty much immediately. It was one of those love stories that just catapulted me. And so I was prepared to put my sexuality, my bisexuality, and what's now I'm discovering pansexuality, completely under the rug. And I was like, well, I'm married now, so that's just not a part of me. And it wasn't until 6 months into doing Clit Talk that it was my 24th birthday, and we were in Vegas.
You were terrified.
My partner actually stopped me, and it was late. It was after a night of partying, and he said he had this epiphany, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you were with a woman before you were with me. Like, I can't even imagine if I was bisexual and then I got married, what that would feel like. Like, do you still like women?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I do. I've liked women since the age of 4 years old. I've been playing with my friends my whole life in private. Like, being with women is a part of my full self-expression." And so that's when he was like, "Okay, do you have any friends that you like, and who are they?" And one of my biggest reveals on Clit Talk was when I shared with everyone that I was actually dating one of our cast members. And she was the first woman that I got to be in a real relationship with during my marriage. And this was during my first year of marriage, actually.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we have had some shocking moments on the show. Let's go down memory lane a little bit, ladies. Let's do like a highlight reel, some of the funniest and or shocking moments. And I know one that I want to share. It's just, we're live on air. And I forget, like, I think we're talking about furries, but I just remember out of Katie's mouth comes, "We fully support bestiality here." And me and Madison at the same moment goes, "She doesn't know what that is."
I meant furries. Like, we fully support. I was saying we fully support, like, you know, whatever your fetish is. Like when they dress up in the suits, and I called it bestiality, and that wasn't what I meant.
I think I literally peed my pants a little bit because
I don't think
Katie,
we took it out of the show.
Katie, you are one of the most earnest, like, genuine people, and you said it with such earnesty, and like we were like, "Nope, that's not."
You're like, no, we don't support that. And I was like, "Wait, but we support everyone." And they're like, "Do you know what bestiality is?" And I was like, it means that, you know, you fuck animals, not wear like animal costumes. Yeah. So I definitely said the wrong term.
To be fair, I think you were binge watching a show on Netflix at the time, though, right? That was like the lead to that. No, but there was this show on Netflix with it was like not a reality show, but they had a tiger.
Oh, Tiger King?
And yeah, that was like the hot show at that time, and you were watching.
But the thing that makes that moment funny is just like Katie, like there was this sort of naivety to you at the beginning of Clit Talk that like, and now you're like in the process of being like a legit full blown sex educator. You know,
yeah,
so many
I'm going back
ways.
to school
She's going
now.
back to school for it, and so it was like endearing, and I think one of the funniest moments we've ever had because
it was so good. Oh my gosh.
And then there was a couple times, like I remember in the studio when we used to do it like in person together. There were a few moments. There was like always a random pussy flash, like before we were on camera, and, like things like that. We gotta do some episodes in person again. Those are fun.
Those were fun.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that last night. Wow. Okay. So there's a highlight reel moment when I learned about what a poopsicle was.
I feel like all these bloopers are going to be wrong things that I said on the show.
That's not a wrong thing. That's like an invention.
Yeah, it was. I called it a poopsicle, and I totally embarrassed my husband.
That was a moment edited. We will admit it.
I think
we have edited out a few things of the show, stuff like that.
Especially when we were first starting and figuring out, like, because we hop on and we talk so, like, openly and vulnerably that sometimes after the fact you're like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that being out in the world, you know?
Yeah.
That was really
funny.
funny.
Where I'm like, oh God, universe, please don't let this bite me in the ass. Like, we've got
real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had things I've shared, and then after I'll go share with my husband something that I shared about on the show, and he's like, I really wish you like ran that by me beforehand. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, fuck. I'm like, I love you. It's not personal. And I've had to actually be with, okay, wait, hold on. Am I cool with saying that? And now that we do everything really live, it's kind of fucking awesome because here we are.
We don't edit the shows anymore. There's no editing things out.
No,
especially on YouTube.
We're not doing that anymore.
It's so, what is there to edit out? You know, it's like we're speaking candidly about sex and it's not necessarily always perfect and clean. And sex is a taboo conversation. And so to capture all of the in-between moments, I feel like has been so special lately.
Okay, I think
to be doing these live.
Shocking moment was when Crystal admitted to getting flogged at the sex party on her way out.
Oh, yeah. That was so
if you
good.
Have not heard our sex party episode, do yourself a favor.
So good.
I don't know what number it is. We'll have to look it up. But that episode was, I mean, that was shocking. We got the entire cast to go to a sex party.
It was our second season, and that's when we had, I think, 9. We had a few less women. I think we had like 7 women, and we all made a list of things that we wanted to do, and we went out and we tried anything. Like we said we would try almost anything once. And then hop on the air and talk about it. It's a really fun season,
season 2.
Need to
go to a dungeon.
I know. A dungeon is on my list. I actually need to work it into our calendar.
I kind of want to experience like being domed by a professional dominatrix just to see what it's like.
Yeah, I've already talked to my husband about it. It was like one of my New Year's resolutions that I want to go to a dungeon this year.
See that? This is not the Katie that started the show.
No. That's what I'm saying. I started like not knowing women masturbated, never having done it myself, to like I want to go to a that's like a done deal. Like I'm going to a dungeon this year.
Obviously, you admitting to dating a cast member was shocking as fuck, Madison. Are there any other shocking or hilarious moments that you guys remember?
I just feel like when Regina Thomashauer came on our show in our first season, like we created a show inspired by her book, and we got permission to do it, but never really expected her to be such an activist for us. She's now endorsed our Sex and Empowerment Signature Masterclass. Like she has been such a huge support to us, but that first time her coming on, I just remember us being so excited and nervous, and like we wanted everything to go perfectly. I think it was one of the first times we had a remote guest on because we were doing everything in person at the time.
I took a day off of work to be there. Like I was like, I'm not missing this. Like, yeah.
And since then, like she's come on, she's collaborated with us so much and just supported us so much. And I just think like it was that was a shocking moment at the time.
A highlight for sure. There's
a highlight.
I've had some personal highlights, like my mom and dad both coming on the show, especially my dad, like coming and doing the show. My dad's been dealing with a lot of health things recently, so to have had that experience with him, I think I'll always, from them being terrified of me starting a podcast called Clit Talk to now like openly sharing it with all their friends. I'm like, I don't know if you want to be that open, but okay.
Oh, yeah. The support of our families has been, I mean, our Mother's Day episode last year was so impactful that my mom came on for the first time and shared some really vulnerable stuff. And like my dad is actually the one who, he was like, you're teaching now and you're a nurse. Like you should go get your certification. And it was the first time that he ever really had a conversation with me about Clit Talk, because he's kind of has held a boundary and wanted to keep it separate, which is totally acceptable.
Yeah, my dad doesn't
like I've honored that boundary. No, he doesn't listen to the show, but he didn't even want to really hear about it. And it's just such a the support of our families has just been so really important to me, because this was something that I never would have imagined myself doing. I never talked about sex in my really private life as a, never thought I'd talk about it publicly. So
right.
It's been instrumental.
I think another favorite moment for mine, and this is thanks to Miss Madison, going to Malibu to Fran Drescher's house to have her on the podcast was pretty surreal.
Oh yeah, that was incredible.
That was amazing.
That was really cool. And if you're a member of our Patreon, you've heard us going back to her house a couple of times, and like phone calls that we have on the way there. There's a lot of like extra bonus behind the scenes content in our Patreon. Shout out to all of our VIP patrons. Thank you for supporting us.
Yes. And if there anyone is who wants to support us, we're going to start doing a tier of just, if you just want to give us $2 a month just for your support and get some ad-free episodes of the show and early releases of the episodes, we definitely appreciate that. So we'll have that linked in our show notes.
Yeah. Or for $11.11 a month, you can be a full-on patron, and there's a lot of really great content in there, and you have full access to us with any of your questions.
Yeah. Any other favorite moments for you guys?
I love when the cocks come on.
Yeah. I love when our partners come on.
Yeah.
I have one moment, one of my favorite bloopers of that I shared about on the show was when I experienced my greatest fantasy and my greatest fear simultaneously all in the same moment. Oh my gosh,
that was so good.
Where I was just like in full queen mode, hosting my second play party I've ever hosted in my life, and I had like, hey Dad, if you're watching this, because I know you subscribe to our YouTube lately. Anyways, fast forward through this part, Dad. I had
instead of not safe for work, this is not safe for Dad.
Not safe for Dad. And I had like 5 guy friends, including my partner, and I was getting loved on all the places, and my partner was going to make me squirt. And at the same time I squirted, I did the thing that we're all afraid of in sex. I pooped at the same time. Luckily, in my hand, caught it. My partner's amazing. He was like, I was like, Austin. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, clear the room. I just shit in my hand. Like, and then he's like, he was so
on air again.
It was so awesome. He's like, all right, everyone, she's just going to need a minute. Let's clear the room. It was like a pro, like not even skipping a beat. And it was, was so empowering for me because,
really?
And I actually was sharing it with the people that were in the room, that were participating in that experience. I went and I shared it with them. I said, hey, I just want you to know, in case you were picking up on any weird energy, I don't want you to feel like it had anything to do with you. I actually pooped a little turd in my hand. And it created this honesty that these people, all of these friends of mine were like, you're so badass. Like, how can you actually just admit that? That is so awesome. And it's because of the work we do at Clit Talk. Like, shame is part of it, but to be able to talk about it and normalize it, guess what? All those people are still super good friends of mine. They all have so much appreciation for me, and they know they can count on me to tell the truth and be honest, you know? Obviously, yeah. Maybe to a fault, but anyways.
All right.
That was one of my favorite moments for me.
I have one more. I have one more favorite moment, and it goes back to the baby, but it's when I got my ultrasound, and my doctor gave me the date that I conceived my son, and it was at the sex party that we went to from season 2. Like we went for Halloween, and my due date was July 31st. And I'll never forget looking at Ethan. I was like, I got pregnant at the sex party. And we're in the process of getting pregnant again now. Like we're trying now, and I'm like, I wonder if the like I haven't been to another one since, right? Like because I went to talk about it at the episode, and I have had the thought recently. I was like, sexual energy is the most potent container for anything you want to manifest or create. And I was like, Maybe if we're still trying in a few months from now, we'll be doing a COVID safe play party.
I think in the name of research, we have to try.
I'm really excited for this time around though too, because my husband like wouldn't have sex with me when I was pregnant last time, and now we've really had a lot of great conversations like since then, and we're like gonna have more. And then my other favorite highlight was when I squirted for the first time, and it was before Madison. She was like, "How did you do it?" It was like the first time where someone who was so much more advanced than me in the sex realm was like, "How did you do that?" And I was like, "I don't know." I wasn't really able to reciprocate, but that was amazing.
I think it definitely motivated me to be like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we cannot do a 200th episode without mentioning and talking a little bit about our Cliterati. Of course, the people who make all of this possible. That means that's you who's listening or watching right now. You're Cliterati.
Yeah.
And we have had so many amazing people write in over the years and share their personal stories with us and their breakthroughs and difficult moments. And God, it means so much to us. You know, we just started this as a book club, and never in a million years did we think that this would turn into now leading a sex and empowerment, like a 7-week course that we just finished leading for the first time last year. We're going to be doing it again this year, later this year.
And we're only going to be doing it once a year.
Once a year we're going to do it. Yep. So I think let's share a couple of our the most impactful Cliterati interactions we've had.
Some of my favorites are, we did an episode on boudoir shoots, photo shoots, and we had a lot of our listeners listen to that episode and be inspired to do a solo boudoir shoot of themselves and send in pictures for us that we could post on our Instagram. Shout out to Victoria. There was so many, and it's, I still haven't done mine.
Well, hello. That needs to be in
I
our
know.
unfolding for this year.
I know. I need to add that to my list.
We should do individuals and a Clit Talk boudoir shoot.
That would be fun. But that was so inspiring to like have an idea of something that Lindsay you did and have people be inspired to do it and actually send us their pictures and their story of them doing it. Like it was just really remarkable, the change that we've been able to see in by just you writing into us and sharing the difference that our show has made in your life.
Yeah, one of my favorite Cliterati shares was, so we found out when we started doing Clit Talk, we found out that every May is called Masturbation May. So we're like, we have to do something. And I remember the first year we ever did it, it was called the 12 Days of Masturbation. And we had like 5 people sign up. I think because it was like right at the, like last year we did our 5-day, we had like 300, 400 people sign up. But this was at the beginning, we had like 5 people sign up. Maybe it was more than that. Maybe it was like 20 or something.
No, I think it was 5 plus like our 9 cast members and like our couple friends.
Yeah. This was like the first year we were doing the podcast, and we're like, whatever. But there was this one woman that kept showing up, and we're like, look, I remember my dad always gave me this advice, you know, even if there's one person in the room, sing your ass off for that one person because you don't know the difference you're going to make. And we were able to transmute that. And we did. We gave that first 12 Days of Masturbation challenge our all. We put so much work into it. And I remember at the end of the challenge, we received a letter from this woman. And I'm not going to use her name because she asked to be anonymous. We'll call her Samantha. Sex and the City. Okay. So Samantha wrote into us. And Samantha, she was like in her 50s. She had found us a Google search because she had been looking for tips on masturbation. And so she signed up for a course, never having really listened to the episodes or our podcast. She started listening to it. And then after the challenge, she wrote us this letter and said, I'm 50 years old. I've raised my kids, and I've never really taken time for my own sexuality or let alone masturbation. And she said, through your 12 days of masturbation, I have completely opened up. I have like 3 vibrators now. And me and my husband of 23 years just tried anal sex for the first time. And it has completely revived our sex life. And I just remember us reading that letter. And it was such a pivotal moment for us because, and I have goosebumps just thinking about it now. We were all crying, and we were like, holy shit. we made a difference for someone, like a real difference for someone. And that
lasting.
A lasting difference. And that was really the beginning of what I think turned into the Sex and Empowerment Signature Masterclass that we're now leading. And we really got how neat, because at that point it was just kind of us. We were doing this podcast and having fun with it. And then we really got how impactful this conversation is and how much it really is needed. And it really shifted my life because, you know, I'm so passionate about my music, and I have discovered a whole other passion inside of this that I didn't know I had. And that letter was a really big moment for me, like a life moment for me, hearing from her. I was like, holy shit. And that was definitely one of my favorite Cliterati moments.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
It definitely like moves us forward. And then within our courses, like I said earlier, that, you know, Clit Talk is a health conversation, masturbation is a health conversation, and I'm a registered nurse, which really turned me on to all of this. And we did our 5-day digital sex and empowerment digital course last year, and there
Katie to do once again this summer, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome, because I was not gonna do it again.
It was so good, though.
It's so good. No, I know, but it's just our schedule is so packed. But this was like, these 5 days was some of the most impactful work that we had seen with our Cliterati. And the one story that sticks out to me the most, and she became a founder of our signature masterclass and is just a fucking rock star. But she had a traumatic brain injury February 2020, right before COVID hit. And what it left her with, you know, unable to orgasm, being dizzy all the time. Your brain is the most erotic organ in your body, and the neuroplasticity is what you're able to tap into within those synapses. Like, she did that in our 5-day. She, on the 5th day, she had her first orgasm, and she hadn't been able to in a year since her injury. So it's like whatever kind of pressure was on her amygdala, which is your pleasure center in your brain, like something happened, and it's a medical miracle as far as I'm concerned. And like, this work has been so impactful for me, having so many injuries and healing, like my back pain in the beginning of the show by starting to masturbate. It was something, I had so much tension, so much physical tension, that like once I started to masturbate, my back pain started to go away. So it was the first time that I had really seen it in our Cliterati in such a major way of like, Western medicine couldn't help her, but her getting in touch and tapping into her sex and her empowerment with us did.
Well, and this is a woman who, when she started on the 5-day, wouldn't even come on camera on Zoom with us. And then by the time she registered for the Sex and Empowerment Masterclass, she was like, "Oh, I have a conflict. I'm doing pole dancing classes every week."
Yet she still participated fully, and that's what's so great about having the podcast. Before we started any of this, is like, our podcast is the top rated internationally, you know, known sexuality podcast. And so in the digital format, we're really able to reach all of our Cliterati, where we have a lot of women and some men who want to participate all over the globe, participating either on their own in the own community that they've formed or with us live. So it's been really awesome to have put that together. And I don't know if we would have done all this if it wasn't for COVID, to be honest. It's like a silver lining.
Yeah, once we went virtual, we got way more productive. And and COVID was kind of this container of like, I mean, the podcast got me through the lockdown, honestly.
Remember, I was leaving the show right before COVID.
We almost quit. Clit Talk almost ended, y'all, like 2 years ago.
I did everything that I could to make sure that it wouldn't, by throwing
both of you
a Valentine's Day event
that I didn't even go to. I was on vacation.
Right. And quite frankly, after that event, I was like, I don't know. We'll see. I hope that this was enough. And next thing we know, you both were like,
I can't wait to throw
hold on.
in-person Valentine's Day event. Once
I know. What were you guys saying, Madison? You were like, what? You're like, hold on, what?
I knew that Lindsay was not down with Clit Talk ending, I knew she wasn't. Her and I were like, wait, no, this is not happening. And like, Lindsay really helped me produce that event, and like just she was my right hand in making it possible. But I was so surprised. I wasn't even thinking about generating ticket sales to save the show. And next thing you know, like, this was one of our most successful events. We had almost 100 people in person at this event.
More than that. We had like 300 people.
I don't know that it was quite that many, but I'd like to think that it was.
It was. I remember.
I'd like to think it was 300.
It was like 1,000. It was like maybe 5,000 people.
It was 5,000. And I remember when we came out of that experience, we got present to the income we generated from that event, but it wasn't even like we were trying to make the money for it. It was just, it showed up in our account like, wow, all these people paid to come to this event. Holy shit, wait. And Katie was like,
in that same week, we were on Directionally Challenged, and that aired, and then our listenership doubled, and we had money in our bank account, and those are the two factors that got my attention. I was like, oh, wait, this is why I was leaving, is because this wasn't happening, and now it just happened. Shit.
Right.
That was so fun. That was a highlight.
That was really fun.
Yeah,
some Candace and Kayla.
I'm a huge Vampire Diaries fan. We got to go to her house. I was like, yeah, I'm friends with. With that cast of Vampire Diaries.
Some of my favorite listener stories that we've had written in are the ones about people coming out as bisexual or coming out as something other than heterosexual. And this is something that people write in about a lot in our Instagram. And as well, someone that was a participant in our Sex and Empowerment Signature Masterclass came out as not heterosexual, actually came out as bisexual. And for me, that really hits home because I feel like I came out publicly. I always knew for myself I was queer and I liked men and women. But then, through doing Clit Talk, I realized I apparently also like trans people, and there's a whole world of people that I'm actually attracted to that I've discovered. And so I would consider myself pansexual. But the idea of coming out it's so empowering for the person doing it that, if you just tell one friend or a couple friends, you can start to notice and feel, okay, that felt good. But when you can start to tell your parents, and you can start to tell your coworkers, and you can start to tell the people, that you can stop giving a fuck that people are going to judge you and actually be real about who you are. I feel like that's really been Clit Talk for me. So every time I see those stories come in, I'm super grateful that I had the confidence and courage to speak about that on an ongoing basis, about how I came out. And when I see people write in about that, I'm like, that's why I shared that, because if it can give someone else the inspiration to do it too, then that's I'll continue doing Clit Talk till the day I die.
Yeah. And the one that really hits home for me is our signature masterclass. We had a lot of moms in it, and many of them said that what they're learning in our course about how to create their pleasure positive life has made them a better mother. And as a new mother, hearing that from other women who have multiple children and have been, way ahead of me in that realm, like, I just am so grateful to have had this, because like I said, I was leaving Clit Talk and they did the Valentine's Day event. And then it was right after that COVID hit. And I totally transformed my life to be focused on my son. And I saw that I could do that and Clit Talk. So really, really powerful.
Absolutely. All right.
And this was really our sister goddess activism creating this show together. And I love that it's lived on. And you both are my sister goddess activists for life. Yeah. I'm so grateful that we've carried through, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
It was not.
But
we're hoping that it, within the next year, it'll become our full-time job.
Yeah. Because, by the way, we don't get paid to do a podcast. No one does. I'm just gonna mention our Patreon again. If you want to donate,
yes,
we'll take it. We would greatly appreciate it.
We would be so grateful for your donation.
Yes, absolutely. So, one last question. What are you guys most excited about for the future with Clit Talk?
I feel like the possibilities are so endless right now with Clit Talk. I'm most excited about filling up our signature masterclass and our ongoing climax program, like really building this community of people living a pleasure positive lifestyle, like we've figured out how to do after 200 episodes of Clit Talk, and taking the best of the best and things that we use and I'm really, really looking forward to being a certified sex educator within my nursing degree, and really being able to provide a service that I have always wanted to, and I can do it through this project.
Yeah. And for those of you who are interested, the registration is currently closed for our sex empowerment class, but we do have a wait list if you want to join and be the first to know about it. This episode's not all about that, but it's genuinely coming up for us. But you can just go to clittalkshow.com/waitlist to join the waiting list for next time registration opens up. What about you, Sugar Madison? Madison Sugar Celeb?
Yeah. For Clit Talk to go mainstream, I'm so excited for our fellow creators out there in the space with us. Some including Guys We Fucked has had a huge breakthrough in their show and getting more mainstream recognition. Sex with Emily getting on Sirius XM. I mean, those are huge.
Doing a master class, having master class, Sex with Emily is huge.
That's so huge. So the fact that our other sister goddesses in this industry are going mainstream, I am so excited for Clit Talk to go mainstream, and the fact that this road has been paved. So I'm so excited for this.
I am excited with everything that we've learned to, as I go into the next phase of my life, creating marriage and a family, being able to create that from my sex, like my pussy, and creating the sex life of my dreams with my future husband Ryan, and I can't wait to come on air and announce when I'm engaged. And to continue to have the Sex and Empowerment Masterclass grow so that we can take everything that we've learned in these past 4 years and share it with people so that they can have the same sort of impact on their lives that Clit Talk has had on our lives in a much faster way.
Faster. That's the whole idea.
It will not take 4 years.
No.
And to continue to hear the stories from our participants and from our listeners, and to have this conversation truly be normalized in such a way that our podcast one day will be like stale and crusty and not taboo. It'll just be normal and boring.
I don't know if we'll ever be boring, but yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Mainstream. Yep.
All right.
I love you both so much.
Couldn't do it without you.
I feel like I'm about to start crying, so maybe we should end this.
I mean, truly, and I'm not trying to be cheesy. The greatest thing I got out of this, though, is the two of you and the support that the three of us give each other is life-changing. Yeah. I love you guys.
It really is.
Cliterati. With that, as always, we're going to see you next Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.